value to them. And that's really what you're looking at. Where are you seeing success? You can get feedback from surveys, of course, your past performance, or stuff like that. Get real feedback. Go have your program manager have a cup of coffee with you. You know, get the verbal, qualitative stuff that you won't see on a survey. And then really it's looking for similarities. What's their mission, their size, their budget? Back to the logistics space. Now, if you can duplicate somebody's mission and their technology, chances are you're pretty well positioned to do business there. I mean, it's still a matter of breaking in and getting into the bubble net, right? The good old boys network, but it's much more feasible at that point than shotgunning, hey, we do logistics daily. So it's be specific. Do your homework, do your upfront research, adjust, rinse, repeat. Once you can make this repeatable across the enterprise, then you're on to something that will fuel your growth. But it does take the upfront work. It takes some of that labor work. Good ways to find that. You can do searches off of FBO. Jim and AFRL have a cadre of resources that are open to you guys. We'll look at some of them later. But the information's out there. I mean, through the FOIA process, the government has to make all this information public. So there's not going to be, unless you're dealing with the 3 letters, the black box stuff, you're going to be able to find it somewhere. It's going to take a little digging.
Tim, do you have a question?
Well, yeah. One thing that I haven't seen in the presentation so far, and maybe in the channel section, so I may be getting premature. But so one of the things that we do to reach our stakeholders is do press releases and then target media that have readerships and audiences that match up with the stakeholders that we're trying to reach.
And I don't cover that too much here. Although I agree that press releases are good for contract wins and things of that nature. But I kind of looked at the audience and figuring that they would want to market more direct to base. Press releases for contract wins at base are good. They're also good for round base because from that press release, you can then get resource.
Well, so I worked in one of the laboratories up there, and so we had chemists, physicists, material scientists, all working in different research areas and all with the desire to find different tools and capabilities based on whatever their research portfolio is. So they were a lot less likely to be paying attention to social media than they would be their professional societies, newsletters, or trade publications, or science magazine, or even picking up the Day Daily in the morning. They were more likely to be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I actually saw that in practice. We had written a press release about a technology that was a lightweight ceramic body armor insert, and had sent that out, and it was actually picked up by several science and tech and government publications. And a few weeks later, I got a call from Bell Helicopter, and they said, you know, we read this article about lightweight ceramic body armor inserts. Can we talk to the scientists who developed this product, because we have an interest in putting this on our helicopter.
Sure.
So I think there is some power in leveraging the media to do that marketing function for you.
I agree, and there's actually a great example of that. I hate to keep going back to Segway Technologies. Segway has a great blog/article production throughout the company. And they created an article, the things you must pay attention to on the new iOS for your apps that you've already created. What's changing, what's coming up. And Technology First, local publication here in Dayton, picked that up from Segway, which is headquartered out in Virginia. So having that good value content, yes, it translates across channels. And now that content's now been picked up by Technology First, and that gives it some authority. This is an authoritative source now. It is attributed back to one of your technical people within your company. So no, I couldn't agree more in having that authoritative data source and building. Really, what you want to build is thought leadership. You want to be known as a thought leader, and that gives you credence, authority. People listen to you. You pick up Twitter followers. It's great, right? It definitely does help. And some of the, when we go back to the long form content, really that's why it's so respected by the base, because when we talk research, they think authority, case studies, white papers. When you talk marketing collateral, they think to your own. So you're very right in the perception and the use of that. We'll hit some basic channels. Again, you saw the slide before. There's 1 million channels now. I'll hit some highlights. We can discuss other ones outside of it. More than happy to. I've kind of been through all of them. I came up early on where snail mail was still kind of a direct marketing campaign, is what we were calling it. Still utilized, and it still is to some respect. First, budgeting for your channels. SBA, they suggest 7-8% if you're under $5 million. That should be your marketing budget. Caveat, as long as you have 10 to 12% margins. So that, small company in that category, looking at 7 or 8%. I've seen some as low as 3. I've seen some as high as 20. It does really matter what your position is. What's the competition? If it's highly competitive, you're putting your money in the market. You've got to differentiate yourself and match that message. If you're nice in a niche market with a good forecast, you might not have to. It really comes down to your market position and doing your research up front in your planning. When I first walk into a company, it's defining your goals and objectives. What tactics are we doing to reach those? How many conferences are we going to every year? And then I'll sit down and I'll play a line item. With a small company, that should be feasible to sit down and look at your programs and say, okay, what am I doing at a granular level? And then it doesn't have to be an exact amount on it. Put a ballpark on it, and then give yourself some wiggle room. That way, at least you can communicate what your expected budget is, and then hopefully come up with an ROI. You can't do ROI without budgets. Put some time into it. Again, I know we all lack resources, but kind of holding your finger up in the air and saying, well, I'm $4 million, I got 11% margins. Okay, we'll charge 7% of that. I call that my market. Okay, that's fine for a big picture. That's about what it should look like. But break it down, and you'll find that if you see a tactic in there that is costing you money, but it's not directly contributing to one of your goals or objectives, cut it. Don't be afraid. You'll see this in a little bit. Just because you've been to a conference for 20 years doesn't mean you got to go for 21.
Sure. The other thing on that 78%, you need to include your cost of labor. If you're a small business and you are doing it in a dollar figure every time.
Definitely.
Social media is not free. People always say, well, social media is free. It's not.
And I'm a big open source guy. I'm like the hippie over at the base, right? Information is free, power to all. But even open source, you manage it. There is definitely a cost there. So even though you can kind of manipulate a business case around WordPress, you're still taking time to get in there and actually make the changes, make sure it's secure, make sure it looks good. So no, completely agree. The right mix. This is a good article by Marketo. Marketo is a good resource that I use. They do marketing automation. While I don't think anybody here would be in that position to do full-on marketing automation, use them as a resource. Great data-driven articles, good metrics, looking at just this. What's the top one? Of course, referrals. Word of mouth is still, it's trust. People trust other people's opinions. They don't trust an ad where you're pointing at yourself saying, look at me. And people at base talk as well. So don't think just because we're over at the base that that goes out the door because we have an acquisition process. There's still reputation over there. You still get points for having a good one over there. So it does make a difference. Content is king. Well, I'll keep saying it. Don't neglect your outbound. Outbound has its place. It just wasn't as big as before. And that's a good thing for small business because outbound is definitely expensive. Partnerships help. Look up there. You're not going to be able to do all this alone at the base. You see partner conversion rate, 1.5. It's not bad. You need teammates. You need partners. You need people that know your technology and can speak to you. And this is acquisition. Even if you're acquiring by email, you're most likely spam. So sales prospecting and cold. Don't spam. This is all about acquisition. So your conversion and your normalized conversion are all about acquiring new clients, not really communicating. This is first touch. So this is where you have to do marketplace. Websites. It should be one of your top channels. It's amazing to me, and I didn't source this because it's pretty much a given these days that almost half of small businesses don't have a website. If you want me to go out and grab your stat, I'll grab you like 5 of them. It's a given. SBA has it. A lot of small business sites have it. Why? Websites are free. In a certain respect. You put some time into them up front. You have Wix, Weebly, WordPress.com. So many different resources. And really, it's because of planning. People start a website and they say, wait, how are we going to waddle through all this? They get very confused very quick and it becomes not worth their time, so they drop it. This is actually an article I published on my site real quick. It's purpose-built websites. So just like any other tactic, your website should have a purpose up front. What do you want it to do? Is it informational purely? Do you want to have an online shop? Do you want to sell widgets? Do you want to provide services? Knowing that up front will let you plan out the content you need in your site. And try to hold off on your site just being one big capability statement, because that's not what they're built for. They're built for more interaction than that. Do you want to build an email list? Do you want to collect emails? Do you want to publish papers and have content that people can access? Library function. Planning this up front makes the build so much easier, and it is actually something you can get. And there's a ton of technology out there helping. 70% still have your call to action. What do you want people to do on your site? Contact you, download this paper, recommend us, let people know what you want them to do, and you have a much better chance of them doing it. 93% are still not mobile. Now this study was done back in 2015. Even then, that's just crazy. Almost every website should be mobilized now.
You mean like optimized for mobile?
Yes, and so that you don't get the small font. And Google penalizes you then for that. Your SEO takes a hit if your website's not optimized. If you don't have enough space in between links to click, Google knows that, and they'll ping you. Google is about...
Tablet too, right?
Yes, tablets, phones, in any dimension. It's important for user experience. If I go to a website and it's not optimized for mobile, I'm on my phone, I'm closing it. Just again, I don't have time to waste trying to do this.
Over 50% of searches are on mobile.
Yeah, and so
Google, it's not just a hit. Google hammers you.
Yeah.
If you know that.
It's only going to be more geared towards mobile in the future.
So I've heard that it's sometimes good to actually develop your site for mobile and then have that in mind first and then make sure it fits on desktop instead of the opposite.
Right. You want to be optimized mobile first.
What do you
A lot
think
of the
about-
things I deal with are every new WordPress theme I'm installing today, it's mobile optimized. If not, then they have no business.
But he's got a point, if you don't lay it out right, you can.
Well, it comes back to planning as well. You need to plan for both.
What about for small businesses, a Squarespace page? So they kind of automatically
Sure.
adjust to mobile, so as you're building it, you don't constantly check back and forth.
Wix
Do you
does
recommend
it, WordPress.com does it, everybody does it. I'm all for using something simple like that first. I want to caution people, as you grow and you want more free, no more control, maybe you want it self-hosted. They're not very portable, but at the same time, they're great for upstarts. If you need to get something out there, get it out there quick. Again, do your planning up front. You want to know what your purpose and your goals are. But pop it on a WordPress.com or a Squarespace. Yeah, it's definitely not going to. They're all basically built the same for SEO nowadays anyway, unless you're custom coding. You'll have the same, 80 to 90% upfront of the SEO is done with your headings and your tags. Then the other 10% is up to you with keyword research and things like that. So.
Sure. I don't know if anybody in here has seen this well, but we've actually outsourced marketing to small marketing businesses in the area. And one of the things that we noticed was we were doing research on people who could build us a website, people who could do brochures or annual reports for us, people that could do advertising for us, and those kind of things. And one of the things that I noticed was that a lot of the folks who were saying that they were willing to build you a website were using these WordPress formulas. And that almost became a disqualifier to a certain extent, because it's like, if you're doing something that I can do myself, why would I outsource those sorts of things?
Very, very good point, but it comes back to value of time. I can do it in 5 hours, what would take you tomorrow? And not only that, but especially over at the base, security is a very big concern. So people are building WordPress sites left and right. 25% of the internet is now WordPress from a technology perspective. But at the same time, WordPress is the most hacked website. So if you have any data, and not only data, redirect hacks, just stuff that will kill a small business. You need to think security up front. So back to the 5 plugins you must have for WordPress, right? Top plugin I put in all my sites, security. It's free. You can harden any directory. You can make your website pretty much, I'm not going to say unhackable, because they'll find holes in it. Next one down, you can use WordFence, which is very much like security. It's basically free firewall. And then Cloudflare is one I really like, because that's a proxy. And so you're going over there. It also helps to speed up your site. And that's free for any personal sites. And all of these are linked in the resources section. So, and any questions, I'm happy to share information with you guys. So that's something that I'll see off the bat, but a small business may not. Now, a little bit of digging, and they'll see that article of the 5 must-have plugins, right? But that's kind of where the differentiator is. Now, with all
Well,
my
the concern too, if you're trying to communicate with the base, they're more concerned with information assurance than they are for you to get the content that you want to get. So if you're going to a website that's powered by freeware and those kind of things, and it shows any indication of a breach or a hack or anything like that, the base will just take you right off the network, and then none of your government customers can see it.
Google will do the same thing. Google even has a tag for websites. This website may be hacked. And so it doesn't even have to be hacked. It just has to look vulnerable. And to be blacklisted by Google, it's so terrible for a small business. Because you have to contact Google. You have to make sure you fix that hack. Security has a site called SiteCheck, where you run your website through. If they find anything off or malicious, they'll show you what file it's in. They'll show you the payload, the actual code that you're dealing with, so you can go in and clean up your site. But you want to find that out before Google, right? There's, I believe, 9 other blacklisting organizations out there, from the Index to Yahoo, and McAfee, all those guys. Once you're blacklisted by one, dominoes. And it does, it negatively affects you, because not only that, after that, I just dealt with a website hack a couple weeks ago. I fixed it, sent it back to Google, everything's clean. They just tried to communicate with the Daily News, antivirus said, no, this thing's dirty. It's not, but from that blacklisting. So it's definitely a huge pain to fix. Do the work up front. And there's a million and one ways to secure that not only goes in WordPress, that's Joomla, Drupal, all your open source, your PHP. Yeah, it's just a cost of doing business, unfortunately. And small businesses are targeted. It's not like they're just targeting national security secrets. These are very rudimentary hacks that are used for pay-per-click, redirects to handbag websites in Ukraine. It's pretty across the board. And it still hurts you, no matter what it is. SEO, marketing to the government, I don't see a huge value add with SEO. If you're doing B2B, yes. B2C, definitely. B2G, maybe for upcoming conferences, some research paper stuff. But we'll run it through real quickly. Do your keyword research, but don't overdo it. Don't focus so much on the keyword that you miss the point of your user experience and the website. Do your keyword research. There's a ton of tools out there. I have some in the back of this presentation. When you're planning your site, think about what people think of from a keyword perspective when you're putting content together. Not just for your website, maybe for your marketing collateral and different papers. And instead of searching for pop-up circus tent, people could be searching for some other iteration of the word or a crazy combination. Ton of tools out there that will give you the stats on this. In competitor intel, there's a great website out there called SpyFu. That's linked at the end of this as well. If you're looking at what your competitor is using for AdWords, it gives you insight into their thinking. What are they being successful with? What are they using for their base definitions of these words? It's a really cool resource. Even if you're not doing AdWords, you can kind of see what they're thinking. And then this is a step-by-step guide to AdWords. If you're really interested, it's for beginners. It walks you through the whole process. It's by Neil Patel. Neil Patel is a thought leader in marketing, somebody I follow closely. He's got, I think, 4 or 5 multi-million-dollar companies he started now. They're all marketing-heavy organizations. He gives you stats and step-by-step process for basically anything in the digital space. So, really valuable resource. Social media. Back to that question, should you participate? I say yes. I mean, it shouldn't be your focus, but if you don't, you're losing 32% there, 30%, 27%. Pick your poison. You don't got to participate in all of it. Do what makes sense for you and your company, and that should be based on your strategy. But I still think you should pay attention to it. Pay attention to feedback. That's really what this is about, right? You send a message, you get feedback. You should have analytics in every corner of your organization. You can get it from Facebook, Twitter, your website, SurveyMonkey. I mean, you can get data from anywhere. Make sure it's good data, but pay attention to it. Use it.
Another aspect of social media that a lot of people don't realize is we talk about it in 2 ways. You always say, follow me to your customers. When you follow your customers, it's the new market research.
Exactly.
You see what they're talking about, what they have going on. I mean, they'll give you their stuff right there on emails.
It's having a conversation digitally. It's the new cup of coffee, right?
Most people don't think about that.
Right. It's me putting out a message and not caring what comes back.
Yeah.
And even your data tells you feedback. Nobody's reading your stuff. You're putting out the wrong stuff. But it's also good to look at it from the perspective of you can use it from across the organization. Some companies are using it for customer service. Hey, messages, use it. And now as a consumer, we're expecting that service time drops dramatically because we have this 24/7 communication on it. So it's driving habits. If I don't get feedback in 10 minutes, I'm retweeting and saying, hey, everybody, this company's hard. Now again, at the base, there's not a whole ton of focus on this at the moment, but it still matters. And it's only going to grow. A lot of this is based on, there's still travel restriction, there's still travel ban, there's still canceling events. It's a tight budget out there. So getting to the conference to say, hey to Joe from Eggland, maybe he's not there this year. It's more cost effective for small business either way. You can't be at every conference every day. So it definitely makes sense to participate, but looking at the numbers, just kind of pick and choose where you belong. I like this one, even though 83% of contractors like their corporate website do their good marketing channel, only 60% of these. But it's still, even at that 60%, it's bigger than any other channel. So that should be your marquee, if you will, your long pole in the market. And automate where possible. For small businesses, automate the email stuff. If I have 3 social networks, I want to post to my website and have it automatically push out to all 3, and then measure the feedback. Just little stuff like that. If you have email newsletters, try to automate where you can. People signing up on your website, automate that addition into your CRM, into your email list. When you grow, you'll thank yourself. Because once you start growing, the menial stuff takes up a lot of time. Back to email. When you're emailing people, give them something of value. Don't send me an email talking about your company. Okay? I appreciate it. I don't want to hear it. I have 200 emails coming in a day. Give me something valuable. Your email opening statement, your subject matters. There's tools out there that will help you manage your subject lines to get you better open rates. It better be true what you're saying in your subject line, because if you tell me that there's a way to cut my overhead in half, and then it starts talking about some crazy new gadget, you're now in my spam folder. Speaking of spam, do not spam. It's outdated. It's old. If you can, have people double opt into your email. They're willing to do it. That's where I sign up. You send me an email, and I confirm that sign. If you're giving people something of value, they will do that. And it's just best practice. I mean, that may seem like a lot, but it will save you so much down the line from people marking you as spam. Because that's way more hurtful than people just not signing up. I'd much rather have that. This is something I did for Chappie's website. So when we're talking about content they want, I just put a link up that said free beer. Everybody went to Chappie's website, they're a tap room in a restaurant. So they obviously all want free beer. So it says, now we have your attention, sign up to our email list, get specials, get updates, get coupons. Over 500 signups in the last year at both sites. So it works. You just have to give them something of value. Be accessible. If they don't know where to sign up, they won't. And same with that call to action. That could be a simple call to action on your homepage. Hey, sign up to our email list. Get our updates. And government folks will sign up as well. I've had a couple. So it's not something that's just relegated to B2B or B2C. If you offer something valuable. Back to the mobile piece, 55% of email is now opened on a mobile device. If you're sending your newsletter, make sure that's mobile optimized as well. I mean, MailChimp, Constant Contact, they all have mobile optimized templates. Not hard to pick one, put your branding, your color scheme, your style guide in there, and be mobile. MailChimp will give you 12,000 emails a month, up to 2,000 subscribers. So as a small business, there's your free email tool. Not hard to use them, and they're all mobile optimized. And easy to tie into your website as well. Events and conferences. If we could go to every one, that's pretty much how it used to happen. I was first coming into this industry, I was managing anywhere from 6 to 10 events a year. I'm talking events, thousands of dollars to attend in Utah and California, DC, cross country. That's not the way of business anymore. It's still great every once in a while, but people are digesting content in new ways. You're no longer going to be trying to catch the keynote at an event. It's now catching the keynote on a webinar and listening to what he has to say. So when you think about events, have a singular message. It's the same thing in your marketing. You want that value proposition up front ready. Train your team. I know it's expensive to fly every principal to an event, so you're pulling junior marketing associate, make sure he knows that worst comes to worst, he can't answer the question, ask the principal. And then get demographics and historical info. It's a phone call. If they don't have it posted on the conference site, then give them a quick call. They have that info. They're usually willing to share it. That's their job. And sometimes that means you don't attend. Again, just because we're at the event for 20 years in a row, don't make it 21 just because they'll notice you more by your absence. That's no longer acceptable. And also measure your feedback. You can't measure ROI at a government event. I don't care who you are because you're not selling right there. So immediate ROI, you're not doing it. But you can measure other more qualitative information posts. I like to call it return on impression. How many decision makers contacts do you have? How many follow-ups? Will that follow-up add to your funnel? What does your funnel look like after that event? It's ways to put a number on something that overall is a pretty qualitative ordeal because you're not selling widgets on the event floor. So you can't say, well, this cost me $4,000, I made $8. It just doesn't work like that in this space. Still ways to put good numbers on it though. And that's just one of them. I mean, there's ways to get creative in marketing, right? And this is a short section. This is just some resources that I use fairly often. There's so many of them out there. If you have a question on is there a tool available for this, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll tell you, or you can Google it. I mean, it's that simple. There's a tool out there for literally everything. There's a meme generator. I never use it, but it's even that. It's just crazy over what's out there. And they probably got some startup Kickstarter funds for it. It's amazing. A couple I like, Lean Stack, that was the one-page business model earlier. Really helpful for just a quick view, and even if you're developing your overall strategy. Marketo and HubSpot, they're both marketing automation organizations. So they provide a lot of great data-driven content around marketing as a whole, around your strategy. None of these organizations really focus on strict B2G marketing, but the data and the content as a whole, a lot of great insights and value there. They walk you step by step through some pretty difficult marketing processes. Graphics and content, with everything in marketing, it's got to be pretty fluffy, nice. Canva is a great design tool. They're free, they're online. Basically, if you have trouble with Facebook images, LinkedIn, website images, they have their own design academy, but they also give you a ton of free templates. They show you how to match fonts so that you don't look too out of whack when you're building out some of these good marketing brochures and things. MakerBook is a good resource for layouts, for graphics, free stock graphics, just a whole cadre of different resources for the creatives in MakerBook. Hemingway is one of my favorites. It's of course named after Hemingway, but it's a grammar tool. You put your text in Hemingway and it scores you. And it tells you how concise you are, how powerful your statement is. It really helps you to formulate some good content that reaches out to your viewer. It's a great tool. I use it all the time. I was just updating my site the other day, and it was a score 92, which is considered good but not great. So, be the perfectionist I am, I went back in until it was almost perfect. But it's that precise, though. And again, advice: be good. Don't worry about being great. As a small business, you can put so many extra hours into trying to be perfect. It'll get you the extra 1%, but is that worth it in the long run? I mean, if 10% gets you 90% of the way there, put in an extra 45 instead of 90%. But we don't have to be perfect. We want to be efficient, effective. Perfect's not part of that equation. Uber suggests, great for ideas. Storify, which tells stories with content that you find on social networks. It's a cool tool. I use it sometimes. Infogram is great for infographics. You don't need an outside graphics artist to build some of this stuff. There's online tools for it. And Wordle is just, it's good for word clouds. It's kind of kitschy, but if you're looking for something for a blog post, it can scrape your site and then do all that to a word cloud. Websites, we've hit most of these: Squarespace, Shopify, Drupal, Joomla, WordPress. I'm a WordPress guy, but I mean, I've dealt with Joomla, I've dealt with Drupal. Everything has its place. If you're worried about enterprise security, if you're worried about big enterprise issues, I'd probably say Joomla. If you're a small shop just coming up, probably good for WordPress. A little bit easier to manage. And then social, these are just a couple of blogs around social. Buffer, Hootsuite, Quicksprout. Buffer is very data driven. Sent you some stuff the other day on Buffer. It's all backed by data. Best time to post during the day. How many times you should post on each network? What kind of content? How to reach the most followers, that kind of thing. Hootsuite, again, we hit it earlier, but this is their actual blog, social site. They're great at that as well. They hold a lot of great conferences. It's a good way to network at virtual conferences with other like-minded people. There's a group on Facebook called #TeamOfOne. It's about one-person social media and marketing teams. Great content that comes through there. And also great opportunity to give your feedback. And then Quicksprout, that's another one by Neil Patel. Quicksprout's also got a website analyzer. So if anybody's curious about how their website is doing and performing, for website analysis, there's a ton of tools out there that will actually measure your SEO. It will let you know what your website is searching for. They're mostly, if not all, free. Proper URL. Speed analysis, that's important because Google also hits you for slow web times. That's part of the mobile optimization. Google wants you to be fast on mobile. If you're not, they'll ping you. You won't rank. So it's always good to have that knowledge and the ability to go in and adjust and tell your IT guy or something like that. Both Sumo is great for content, SpyFu, competitor intelligence. These last three are important. Cloudflare, security, I mentioned both of those from the website hack perspective. Really great resources. They're both free to a certain extent, so definitely check them out. And then Studio Press actually has a mobile responsive test, so you can type your URL in, and it will give you anything from an iPhone 4 screen to the new tablet, the new web. So again, there's a tool for everything out there. Either Google it, let me know. I have a whole list of them that I use from time to time. These are just the ones that I tend to use a lot. Your best resource, your small business associations. They're here to help. I mean, that's really what this is about, is helping you guys take it to the next level. I know there's a lot of small business folks in the room. I talk to them. We carry sort of the same mission. I work with small businesses, nonprofits, and startups. You won't see me with Northrop Lockheed, any big, medium-sized business. I'm definitely in it for the small guy because I know how to stretch resource, I know tips and tricks. My value is in the smaller space. I've only worked with smaller companies in my whole career. So I know these guys. I mean, we've talked in many different avenues and aspects. So use them. That's what they're here for. Like Jim said, the one-on-ones. Sign up for one. Get his input. He has connections. He has, just a ton of information that is great for your small company. All free, people. I mean, use his time. He's paid well enough, right? I mean, it's really a resource that I think is often passed over by small businesses. I don't know whether it's because they don't think they need the help or they think that it's not worth it. They're a great resource. And that's across the board. Your hub, SBDC, Fast Rope is an organization. Dave Hart, a few of us others, we started at Panera ages ago now. Started 5, 6 people. It's now 300 people across, many states. But we meet every month for coffee. And it's a way to share intel around the base, build trust and network. It's pretty low entry. I think it's like $75 a year. You'll get notes from here, Montgomery, DC. I mean, all your installations that you're looking at, we have intel right there. And we all call in, we have coffee before work, we share war stories and kind of have a good time with it. But it's valuable. It's a great way to network when you're starting out. Filled with small businesses. I mean, that's probably a big part of the overall membership of small business. If you want to know more, let me know. I'll take you to one with me and introduce you. Again, it's just a really valuable resource. AFL-CNC Small Business Office, again, they're there at the base. They have insights. They know what's going on. They can be your advocate on small business set-asides. They can let you know some of the ins and outs. I mean, they're just a great resource. And then not to neglect industry associations. You get what you give. You need to participate. Don't just go in, sign up for a $30 membership and show up for a luncheon every once in a while. Be on a committee, put some face time in. These folks running those committees, I mean, they're marketing the same, they have intel at the base. This is a good old boys network. It's not going to change because it's such a niche way to do business. Not a lot of people can hack it. But once you're connected, you'll know that it's definitely doable. There's great opportunity here. And don't forget about your value. Really, your true client most of the time is the warfare. I know you deal with PMs and deal with contracting, but think big picture. Make sure you're really supporting. It's important. And it'll definitely give you a leg up on differentiating.